Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Visual Communication and Media. My name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you. I'm so excited to have you all here today. Really excited. We got through week one. We talked about the mediums of how we see visual communication, how it's evolved over time as human race has developed. And now we're starting to get into the actual response types and how visuals are actually designed. And from here on out, each week is going to focus on a specific how we build visuals to garner a specific response type. For example, if say you want to build something that people want to feel a perception based feeling, like you want somebody to be triggered because of like a cognitive memory that they've had over time, like for example somebody's graduation, just kind of like use that visual to make them remember about that graduation, to kind of bring that focus. That's a perceptual response that you want to be triggered, and that's what we're going to be focusing on this week. We're going to be focusing on sensory responses and how they play a part in visuals, and a lot of times they're based off of like colors, lines, layout, texture, anything that deals with like the five senses overall and how it kind of plays a part. And that's what we're going to focus on a lot within these concepts. And I figured we'd start off with colors and how colors kind of play a part with cultures and how different cultures viewpoint colors and just different views. And this kind of gets your brain going for what we're about to run into on Tuesday. And that's pretty much it. But I'll give some announcements here at the end of this announcement, so that way we'd be good to go. But yeah, let me just give your brain start to roll on some colors and culture. It'd be good. So a lot of times sensory communication uses a lot of senses, and they use sight as the medium to go about that. And they focus a lot on like colors, lines, boldness, structures. They all kind of play a part with each other. And we'll use colors as a beginning point for this. And colors emphasize life and emotion throughout everything that we use. Colors communicate both visually and emotionally. Plus, colors can mean different things depending on where you're from. So let's take a look at that from a perspective. So when we look at red, from Western cultures, we tend to see red as like caution, danger, like immediate concern, or something like it also is kind of like a lifeblood for us, where we see red as in like it's just very fast. It's a very intense color right off. It definitely brings anxiety forward. And that's how we see red a lot of times. So now red is also a power color a lot. So but we don't really tend to see red utilized like is, because a lot of times we consider it as a warning color a lot. Now in other countries such as like India, red means wealth, power, fertility. In South Africa, they consider it like a mourning and a violence color. How we see black, they use it as red. China and Japan, this is the color of royalty, pride, happiness, and prosperity. Where we see red as in like caution and danger, they see it as like joyfulness and happiness. So it's interesting to see where the colors kind of intersect within cultures. So when we talk about blue, in Western cultures, we see it as calming, trusting. We see blue a lot in like government facilities and also like hospitals. It just gives that calming, relaxing color. It just doesn't really it doesn't really set you up on a tense. It's not in your face. But sometimes it can be used as like depressing or sadness. It is the color of the rain and water, so it kind of ever flowing, and we tend to see that a lot with blue. Now, in other countries, blue can be symbolized for other different elements. For example, in China, if say you have a boy, and we use boy for blue, in those like gender reveals. Hopefully, you're not, destroying things with your gender reveals. Please don't. But yeah. So, but if you have a boy, I think it's red over there. It's actually reverse, and then girls are actually blue. So if you let the color blue go on, it's considered used for girls as we use it for boys here. So we use pink for girls. I think they use red for boys across the way. Now in religion, a lot of times blue is used as a sign of divinity, holiness, like in Judaism, or in Catholicism and Latin, it's a sign of hope and good health. So we tend to see a lot of blue in religious elements too. So now yellow is pretty interesting. I'm just going off like the base colors pretty much. RBG and yellow. We'll just throw yellow out there, even though yellow is a combination of green and blue. But I think is it green and red or is it green and blue? I forget. I don't know. It's and I'm so used to art, so yeah. But I know I'm probably gonna get called out for that later by a student. So if you call me out on it, by all means, go for it. Yeah, but yeah, I figure I'd just go with the base colors that we tend to see. Now with yellow, we see it as like a cheery, sunny, warm. It can also be used as like a warning symbol, but it's not like heavy like a red symbol or an orange symbol. So yellow's kind of just like it's there, But we see it a lot. Yellow's always like a bright and chipper color for us here in the States. But in France, it signifies jealousy, weakness, contradiction. That's where the term yellow belly came from. Egypt also is like a sign of mourning and for passing. And then Thailand, it considers it to show good fortune or luck. Like the Irish use green a lot of times. So that's their fun. Speaking of green, yeah, there's green. And yeah, it's Ireland right there, associated with good luck. Luck of the Irish, green. But here in the Western cultures, we tend to see green as like spring and freshness. It's a relaxing color, but also it's just like bright and kind of reminds us of spring. But it also tells us of like inexperience, because you're new. People say green. A lot of times, it's spring. We think of green because it's like the new seasons. It plays a part for inexperience. Like, hey, there's the new guy. It all matches up with that. Also, we tend to see it with like greed and jealousy because it's the color of money. And we tend to see that a lot on our side. I think it's like with the Grinch too. They tend to focus green as like a greed color here in the Western cultures. Much like, unlike France where it's more yellow. But like I said, in other cultures view differently. Ireland, it's associated with good luck. Asian cultures relates to new beginnings and new life. We tend to see green a lot with their babies a lot of times and their celebrations. However, South Americans and Middle Americans, Central Americans tend to view this as symbolizes death or independence. Green is on the color of the Mexican flag that symbolized their independence from Spain. So you tend to see green utilized differently in other cultures. So yeah, but that's just now this may be focused a lot on perceptions because these are like global perceptions, but this is just to give you a heads up on how colors are used with cultures and how people may see colors differently. We'll get a little bit more into this with perceptual cultures and culture codes, but this is a good start to see how colors can be utilized within cultures and how people view colors. When we look into sensory responses, people be like, oh, well, they use blue because they want to create that calming, relaxing effect. That's what we're going to be focusing on. So this is just going to give you a head start on how colors are kind of applied and just how it may be viewed differently based on where your audience is at. That's all. But yeah, there's a lot of cultural perceptions based to it. But we'll get into that a little bit more on perceptual responses next week. Other than that, that's all I got. So just give you a heads up. I just posted all your rubrics and lectures on the announcements. So just that's what you should know. Also, keep in mind that Tuesday's lecture is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So an hour later from our time from Thursday, but that's it. Just so 1 hour later, and it's on Tuesday. So that'll be tomorrow. That'll be on Tuesday. If you have any questions or problems with the links or anything, let me know. I got your back. There's going to be a lot of cool videos on that one, so it's going to be a good lecture. But pretty much that's it. You do have your initial post due on Tuesday, and then that's all I got. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know, and I'll see everybody for lecture. Enjoy, my friends.